Hello and welcome to the Yarn Holders Crafting Podcast. My name is Sasha and this is my 12 cast-ons introduction / day one video. It is Christmas Eve at time of recording, but this will go out on the 26th, so in the UK that is Boxing Day. I have no idea why it's called Boxing Day. I don't think anybody does at this point, but yeah, I hope everyone had a very lovely Christmas, whatever holiday you celebrate. I'm not a religious person, so it holds no religious meaning to me, but if you are a religious person and you have a religious holiday at this time of year, I hope you had a good one. And today I'm going to talk about my 12 cast-ons, my plans for them, show you my day one progress, given I did that yesterday. There will also be a little bit of footage from yesterday, showing a little bit of this. I'm also going to open my Yarny purchase from the Christmas wool show that I have managed to keep and not peek at until today. So it is technically Christmas Eve, but given this goes out the day after Christmas, I figured I would open this today on camera at the end, so you can see my live reaction to the colours, and you never know, maybe this will make it into my 12 cast-ons this year. So firstly, what is the 12 cast-ons? So the 12 Days of Cast-ons is a make-along hosted by Angela from the Yarn and Yarns YouTube channel. I will leave her video linked below, which goes into the details of the 12 cast-ons, how it came to be, and it runs from, I think it's from around today, the 24th, until the end of January, and the goal is to cast on anywhere from 1 to 12 projects to set yourself up for your days, weeks, months, or even years worth making. Angela says that hers originally came about so that she could cast on stuff for herself, and most of my cast-ons will be for me. Pretty much all of them are for me in one way or another. However, the very first cast-on I did yesterday, the knitting of it is for me because I enjoy making these, and the last one I made was kind of a rush because it was for a gift, but the actual finished object will be for my other half. But how you view it is, I suppose, open to interpretation. This project is technically not for me, but the knitting process of this is for me. So what was my day one cast on, I hear you asking? And it was / is the Nando the Magnificent by Sarah Shearer of Imagined Landscapes, and I made one of these earlier this year from a partner to give as a gift to his year in industry students, and on day one I managed to do about 25 rounds. And I have altered the pattern slightly because the hat is supposed to be just one colour and I've decided to make it stripy. But this is how far I got on day one. I know, it's a staggering amount. So yesterday I was very busy, so I only really had about an hour and a half total to knit yesterday. And it was split up into 2 different sessions, which you'll see, I guess, here. is about 8 o'clock on the first night of cast-ons. We have eaten, we are currently very fat, full of curry. And we're now going to watch some telly together. My other half is looking oh so happy over there. You got a wave. How lucky are you guys, you got a wave! But we are going to enjoy a nice quiet evening. I'm going to continue working away on my day one cast on, and then I shall record the intro to this vid tomorrow, because that makes sense. Catch you guys in a bit. So this is how far I got. I am using the Die Shack. It is a Gnomes mini set, and the colours are, if I can get them out of here, there's the other one, are these the three gorgeous colours. So there's a purple and two brownie beige colours. And now I will say, after I decided I was making the hat stripy and started doing this, my partner pointed out that if I'm doing this colour for the body of the gnome, it's going to look like a nudist gnome. So, we shall see how that goes. This is a very skin tone colour. So, we shall see. I might change it, I might not. But that was my day one cast on. I'm now going to put everything back into the little baskets. This is one of the scrap baskets I made in the beginning / middle of December. I'm going to make sure this is all neat, because this is probably not going to see any work now until probably the middle of January. This is made on mostly on a 2.25mm. I couldn't find my fixed circular needle, so I'm doing it on DPNs, which is not my preferred method of small circumference knitting. I would have preferred to do it on a 9-inch circular or a long 60cm cable, but I couldn't find any, so we shall see. So yeah, that probably won't see any work now until the middle of January. I don't plan on working that again. On days where I'm not casting on a new project, I am focusing on some of my other projects, specifically a pair of Christmas socks that is definitely going to be ready for tomorrow. And then I have some other cast-ons. So I had planned on sort of sitting down, making a full plan, sort of working out what I was going to cast on each day, get all the patterns printed off, bought or bookmarked ready, and decided not to do that because that would be useful. So here is a list of, I think, 18 projects, and there's a few actually missing off here, so this list is probably not complete. But I'm basically going to plan like 2 or 3 days at once, mostly because otherwise I would be winding like 20 skeins of yarn today, which I haven't got time for that. I won't spoil what my next cast-ons are going to be. You may have caught a glimpse on there what day 2 will be, but day 2 will probably be released next week. I'm not sure if I'm going to get round to that today or if my next cast on will be on Boxing Day, but we shall see. Before I go on to opening this, I also wanted to go over my goals for 2026. I'm not going to do a review of 2025 until the beginning of January, mostly because I don't want to say I bought in this much yarn, I use this much yarn, and then somebody gives me a load of yarn tomorrow. So that will be a video in the new year. But my plans for 2026, or goals, I have 6. I have written them in the book. So a couple of them are quite simple, a couple of them are definitely not simple. But the first one is probably going to be the hardest one in my mind, and that is be a more selfish knitter. I want to make more stuff for me, but I do this every year. I say I'm going to make more stuff for me, and then the end of the year rolls around and I realise I've made like 3 or 4 things for myself, half a dozen things sort of for the house and general use, a dozen things for my other half, and then a couple of dozen things to give as gifts. And that needs to change. I have a lot of beautiful yarn to make stuff for me, and I need to use this beautiful yarn to make stuff for me because it's so beautiful and I love it. And yes, it's nice having it here on display, but I want to be able to wear it, and I can't really wear a skein, just a plain skein, unless I start clipping the skeins to my jumper. So goal 1, be a more selfish knitter. I need for once in my life to stop thinking about everybody else and start thinking about me. So my goal is to be a selfish knitter this year. That does not mean I'm not going to make things for other people, because I have a couple of things to make for my other half. But I think this year I basically need to just, if I've already got the yarn for him, make the stuff for him, but otherwise make stuff for me. Because I need more clothes, I want more clothes, I don't really want to go buying new clothes because I don't like clothes shopping. But that's goal 1. Goal 2, make 12 pairs of socks. So that's at least 1 pair a month, at least that's what it boils down to. They don't necessarily have to be 1 a month, but the aim is to make 12 pairs of socks next year. And quite frankly, I already have enough yarn to make 12 pairs of socks. There is already 13 pairs of socks planned in the stash behind me. And I could probably also make some scrappy socks with the amount of yarn I've got in my scrap drawer. It's not much, honest. So 12 pairs of socks next year. I know there's some people out there who do these knit-alongs and then they don't use the socks and they put it in a box, and at the end of the year they've got this lovely box of fresh, clean, unused socks that they can show off. That's not happening. Okay. I'm not the kind of person that makes something and then goes, I'm just going to leave this quite possibly 12 months before I use it. If you've got the self-restraint and the willpower to do that, more power to you. I don't. So of the 12 pairs or the 13 pairs that are already in the stash behind me, 9 of them are for me. I've got 2 pairs planned for him, the other half, which if you've watched last week's video, you have probably worked out his name is Craig, because I showed you an ornament with both of our names on it. So yes, my partner's name is Craig, if I haven't mentioned it before. So I've got a couple of pairs planned for him. One set. I've got some Christmas cabled socks I've been planning, matching Christmas cabled socks. So I've also got those, which I have to make his first before I can make mine, because he has giant clown feet, and if I want to do heels, toes and cuffs in the contrast colour, I need to know how much I'm working with for my pair. So, but goal 2, make 12 pairs of socks in 2026, which shouldn't be too difficult. I mean, I did have a glance through my finished projects this year, and I have finished 10 pairs this year. Okay, 3 of them were in January, when I had like most of 2 pairs already done from the back end of last year, but I'm sure I can manage 12 pairs. Some of them will probably be patterned, some of them will be lacy or cabled, others might be shorty socks. They don't have to be a specific length or anything, they just have to be 12 pairs of adult socks for my goal. Goal 3, try to be stash neutral or under. So 2025 was definitely a stash positive year. That's fine, it happens. You know, I'm not slapping myself on the wrist for it. I don't believe in limiting myself. But I would like 2026 to be closer, if not under, stash neutral. Like, I would prefer a stash neutral or a stash negative year, but I am also not going to stop myself from buying yarn. So, goal number 4. I don't need any more minis. That's literally how I've written it. With a lecture to myself about how I always buy minis and then never use minis. So my goal is I have to finish at least 2 sets of minis, which means finish 2 projects using minis before I'm allowed to buy 1 set of minis. So I'm not completely stopping myself from buying minis, but I don't need any more minis. So, yes, they deserve to be used, they deserve to be shown off to their full glory and not just sit here occasionally being moved to make sure they don't get moths. So, yeah, goal 4, I don't need any more minis. Goal 5 is actually really, really simple, or at least it looks simple when I see it written down. And that is to finish my garter stitch blankets. I haven't worked on it or haven't shown it on here in a little while. It's slowly growing. I occasionally add a couple of rows here and there. But I would like to have that finished by the time Christmas 2026 rolls around. I'm not going to put any hard and fast rules of when I need it finished. No deadlines or anything for when I put the next ball in. I would just like to have it finished by Christmas next year. That gives me an entire year to do 4.5 cakes of yarn. Okay, yeah, they are like almost 250 grams of yarn a piece, but I can manage that. It's a fairly easy goal. Easy. And then my last goal for 2026 is to always have a plan before I go to a yarn show. No more just going and going, ooh, pretty, and buying it. I need to have projects planned so that I go to a yarn show with a plan. So that means planning small, medium and large projects and then only buying for those projects. Maybe giving myself sort of you can buy 1 skein without a plan, or you can buy 2 or 3 skeins of the same yarn without a plan, but generally have a plan. And it's okay to go to a yarn show and not buy anything. If you don't find anything that you're falling in love with, you're not 100% on, it's fine. Don't force yourself to buy something if you're not 100% sure on it. And that's one of my goals for next year, is to make sure I'm 100% on the yarn before I buy it, and to not just buy because, oh, it's pretty. So that's my plans for next year, or goals. The introduction and day 1 of the 12 cast-ons. The 12 cast-ons I'm hoping will be a fairly good mix of different types of projects. They're not just going to be 12 pairs of socks or 12 gnomes. And now, for the yarn, but I can't remember the company it comes from. Super Effective Fibres, I think. I shall. The name will be here, and there's probably a tag on the yarn which will tell me who it's from once I open it. So. I am going to rip this open because the paper is recyclable. I'm just removing the string. And now, I say I'm giving you first look as I rip it open. So. Ooh. Ooh, that's nice. Ooh. So, yes, it is super effective fibres. It is their yak fingering weight, so it is 70% superwash merino, 10% yak, 20% nylon. And the colourway, which is this beautiful browns, a bit of dark blue, and I think a little bit of green in there as well, is called Look After Him or You Die. I'm guessing that is a reference to something, but I really like this. It's so moody. I think I've got another pair of socks to make. But let's pull this. Oh, but this is, I really like this. And you know what? I'm going to see if I can get him on camera.
Why?
Because I'm going to show you the colourway I got. And I want your reaction to it on camera.
Ow. Hello.
So let's just inch this over a tad. So this you've seen dotted about in occasional videos. This is my wonderful, lovely other half. You know, the clown-footed, big-headed person. Yeah. I'm now going to show him the yarn that you have seen and you've seen my reaction to. Close your eyes. He's very good. There you go.
Ooh. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that is so you as well, for dark and moody.
Well, pretend he didn't say that.
Oh, that's nice. Look after him or you die. Yep.
If anyone's wondering, I will continue to look after him.
Yes. Good. Nice. That is really nice.
And yep, so that is the super effective fibres Look After Him or You Die mystery skein that I have now opened. And now we shall both wish you a very Merry New Year. And very Merry New Year. Yeah, very Merry New Year. And maybe you'll see more of him in 2026. Bye guys.
Bye bye.